Hey everyone, Brandon Quinn here, thanks for joining. Today we're going to take a look at an interesting puzzle that went viral a few years ago dubbed the parking spot puzzle. A car is parked in a parking lot with numbered spots. To solve this puzzle, you simply need to determine the number of the spot that this car is parked in. While the question itself is simple, finding the solution might be immensely difficult for you as it is for many people who have tried this puzzle. Interestingly, the story behind this puzzle is that it is given to 6-year-old students in Hong Kong school, and that these 6-year-old students can crack this in just 20 seconds. Do you think you can do this in 20 seconds? Pause the video now if you want to try this problem for yourself, and when you're ready, come back and we'll review the answer. When it comes to approaching logic puzzles, math puzzles, riddles, problems, challenges, etc., there is a myriad of ways in which you can approach the problem. Some of them will lead to dead ends, and some of them will lead to either the correct solution or at least a hint as to what the correct solution could be. A problem a lot of people have when they try to tackle problems and challenges is that they'll hyper-focus on one particular aspect of the problem, usually the first thing that they notice. And when they inevitably run into a dead end, they throw their hands in the air and give up. In this particular problem, people will look at the parking spot numbers and try to determine a pattern or a function or a relationship between them. So they'll see 16, 6, 68, 88, 98, and they'll try to maybe come up with a function that talks about the relationships, like 16 minus 10 is 6, 6 plus 52 is 68, plus 20 is 88, etc. Or they might even count the number of digits, right? There's 3 8s visible, 3 6s visible, 1 1, 1 0, 1 9, etc. and try to come up with some sophisticated relationship between them to predict the number that the car is parked in. When this line of reasoning fails, people will usually assume that's just because they didn't have the prerequisite math knowledge to find the pattern that is quote-unquote certainly there. But there's always new ways to approach puzzles and problems like this. For example, we could ask ourselves here, why is the parking lot number system seemingly random? Even if there was some kind of highly complex pattern that determines the next number and the previous number, real parking lots don't have that, so it could at least raise an eyebrow, ask a question, why is it this way? And maybe from there you can gain deeper insights into the puzzle. Here's another question you can ask, a sort of exploratory question to help you gain deeper insights into the puzzle before you try to solve it. How did that car get to be parked in that spot? The answer might seem exceedingly simple, but let's think it through anyway, right? Presumably the car drove there, maybe it came from some road, and then from that road it either drove straight into the parking lot, depending on where the road is, or it turned left or it turned right into the spot. But either way, it drove eventually forward into that spot. But look at how we're looking at it. We're looking at it from the other direction, right? We can see the front of that car, which means that our perspective of those numbers is different than that of the driver of that car. The driver of that car would have been seeing the numbers upside down from the way we would have been seeing them. Now that we've flipped our perspective to the correct one, we can easily see that the number in the spot that the car is parked in is 87. Generally speaking, when you're trying to find the solution to something, whether it be a fun little challenge or a puzzle or a real-life problem that you're facing, it's prudent to find all of the perspectives upon which you can assess the problem, especially before diving too deep into any single strategy that is based solely on a single perspective or on the first perspective upon which you looked at the problem. But with that, we do have our solution to this interesting little puzzle. Just as a brief aside, while I was researching this puzzle, I found multiple sources that presented the puzzle incorrectly. For example, here we have the same numbers, but look at the fonts, particularly on the digit 1. The curves on that prevent that digit from being rotated correctly. In other words, if you rotate that 180 degrees, it will no longer look like the digit 1, in which case the entire puzzle fails. So there's nothing more frustrating than when you're doing a puzzle and after frustration, after trying to solve it to no avail, you give up and look at the answer just to find that the puzzle was phrased incorrectly in the first place. So I was very careful to do this correctly when presenting it here. I hope you've enjoyed this puzzle. If you did, I highly recommend you check out my puzzle books Mental Mosaics and Hexakai, where I have hundreds of puzzles on a wide array of topics and difficulty levels. Links to both books are in the description below. Thanks for watching, I'll see you next time.